Hello, YouTube. If you don't know who I am, then too fucking bad. You know, I went to a therapist the other day, my therapist. She's a gorgeous, young, 23-year-old girl, and you know, she seems to have the picture-perfect life from a distance. She has a photograph of her fiancé on her desk, and you know, the interesting thing about therapists is they are supposed to have no life. You see, they are supposed to be simply a reflection of you. They're not supposed to have a personality, really. They're not supposed to have a private life. They're not supposed to share any of their private issues with you. They're not supposed to know you outside of their office. Think about it. Wouldn't it be kind of unusual to run into your therapist or your drug rehab counselor or whatever outside of the office because you're so used to this person just being a professional entity, and then you see them out going to a movie with their bitch, or at the bar getting drunk, or whatever, living their life, and you're like, I had no idea they had a life. And you're sitting there, you know, I'm sitting there talking to the therapist, are you married? That's none of your concern. Let's keep it with you. Are you happy? That's none of your concern. Let's keep it with you. What's your interests? That's none of your concern. Let's keep it with you. How do you feel? I feel like shit. How do you feel? No, you don't. That's not healthy. Okay, how do I not feel like shit? Just don't feel like shit. Okay, I'm miserable. Then just don't be miserable. Simple as that. Thanks for your advice. That'll be $55. Alright. Okay, you know, all of my life I've been troubled with this central way of living. And I'll explain what I'm talking about. You know, television has really saturated us because, you know, VH1, MTV, Entertainment Tonight has all of these channels have convinced us that the proper way to live, and if you don't live like this, you're a deadbeat loser, is in Beverly Hills or New York City to drive a Porsche or a Mercedes, to live in a $500,000 house or a $10 million house. And if you don't live like Brad Pitt or Mel Gibson, you're a deadbeat loser. Keep in mind, people, this is less than about 1/4% of the population. The rest of us are living in mobile homes. The rest of us are working minimum wage. The rest of us are making $16,000 or less a year. The rest of us are driving piece of shit cars. The rest of us have little or no college education. The rest of us are living in misery and trying to better ourselves, but we may never better ourselves. But we're a work in progress, and that, my friends, that's what counts. Isn't it? Not in America, it's not. In America, we're supposed to be perfect. But you know what? People aren't interested in perfection. Why do you think that these celebrity gossip magazines sell so much? Because people want to see these celebrities who are portrayed as being perfect fall flat on their asses. They want to see stories about these celebrities going broke and getting hooked on drugs and going through divorces and losing their fame and going down. They want to see it. That's why Britney Spears got so popular a couple of years ago, because she was falling flat on her ass. This perfect girl who was portrayed as being the best, most perfect, beautiful woman on the face of the earth was a train wreck. She was going down. She was going down in flames. We were all happy to see her finally fall flat on her ass. What happens? She bounces back up remarkably. Oh, I'm great again. Oh, Miss Perfect has finally reached her core. Oh, I'm back. Worship me all. My happiness conquers and supersedes your pathetic little lives. Oh. And you don't see her in any more magazines, because nobody wants to see her doing well. We don't want to see you doing well, Britney Spears. We want to see you fall flat on your ass where you belong, like the rest of us. Keep in mind, you're human, just like we are. And the objective of being human is to be miserable. That seems to be the point. Anytime we find a drug or anything that makes us feel happy, we're automatically supposed to give it up. It might become an addiction, you know. If it makes you happy, it's an addiction. Everything's an addiction. Is it an addiction? Oh my God, I drink coffee. That's an addiction. Oh my God, I smoke cigarettes. That's an addiction. Oh my God, I like to walk. That must be an addiction. I like dogs. Oh, that's an addiction. I need to get help for that. I don't need to do anything. I just need to sit in a dark room all day and stare at the wall. I like television, but I better not watch it too much. That might be an addiction. That might be an addiction. Do you have an addiction? Do you see an addiction? Where's an addiction? Do I see an addiction? I don't see an addiction. You're an addiction. You got an addiction. Straighten up. Straighten your ass up. You've got an addiction. You need to go to counseling. You need to get help. Help! Help! Get help, you crazy motherfucker. You need help. We've saturated ourselves to the point of no return. We've done it to ourselves. Okay, this is just an example. Okay, I am so sick and tired of being asked to feel sorry for people who have destroyed their own lives. The other day I was watching a show, alright, about a 20-year-old boy. This boy was not retarded, mind you. There was absolutely nothing wrong with his mind except overeating. He weighed 850 pounds. And what was truly disturbing about all of this is his mother tended to him hand and foot, almost like she wanted him to be this way, just so she could keep him invalid and keep him in the form of a baby. This woman wiped her son's ass because he was too fat and too lazy to wipe his own ass. There was a scene when he was in the bathroom, ass naked. "Mama, I'm sitting on an uncomfortable commode. Do you need me to wipe you, honey? Did you do-do, honey? Mama, my butt hurts. I can't do-do. I can't get it out. Just relax, honey. Just push the do-do out. Mama will come and wipe that butt for you, honey. You want a hot dog? Mama, I want a hot dog. It's okay, honey. Just do-do, and then Mama wipe your butt, and then Mama put you to bed and bring you a blanket. Mama make it all better." Oh, it was so sickening. I mean, the woman was not trying to keep her son invalid, but she loved him so much. And it was kind of sad in a way, but I had no sympathy for this motherfucker. He's sitting there whining, "It's like a prison. I'm in a prison. I can't do anything." So they ship his ass to the hospital. They give him a fucking tummy tuck. They cut over 60 pounds of fat off of his ass, which you couldn't tell that he lost it, even though they had a fucking glob like this in a bucket that they cut off of him. And then they gave him a one of those stomach operations where they shrunk his stomach to about that size. But it really didn't do any good because even though he could not eat very much at a time, he continuously ate throughout the day. He ended up losing about a third of his weight, but he still would not get off his fat ass and go walking around and do his exercises. He wanted to lay in bed all day and bitch and whine. And mind you, they were living in a state, and this is during the time Hurricane Ike was coming along. Okay, his family was trying to evacuate out of the house, and he's worried about getting a fucking Blockbuster video, and he wants to lay in his bed. "I don't want to go, Mom. I want to lay in bed. I want a hot dog." "Honey, Hurricane Ike is coming." "I don't want no Hurricane Ike. I want a hot dog. God damn it, bring me a hot dog." "Okay, honey, Mama, bring you a hot dog." The point to this is these fat motherfuckers in this country. Okay, now, first off, I'm fat, okay? I'm 250 pounds, but I'm reasonably fat. I'm reasonably overweight, and I am not lazy. I read a comment the other day. This guy had asked on the internet, he asked, do girls like... will girls date chubby and fat guys? Most girls responded saying yes, of course, but one girl said, "I would never date a fat guy because if he's fat, that means he's a lazy fuck, and I am not lazy, and I would never, ever, 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 ever date a fat, lazy fuck." But anyway, the point to this is, you know, I'm not lazy by any stretch of the imagination. But I am a little overweight. But I'm reasonably overweight. Back to the point. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 900 pounds, that's getting ridiculous. And you go over to Europe, you don't see this shit. Because in Europe, when you order a meal at a restaurant, you don't get a 2-plate salad and a 4-plate entree and a 2-plate dessert. You get 1 plate with little rations on it. You eat maybe a croissant for breakfast and a cup of coffee. You have rations. My friend, who weighed about 120 pounds when she went to France, came back and lost 15 pounds. She said over in France they do not have 2, 3, 4, 5 XL clothes because people are not fat. They're just not fat. They're just not that fat over there, okay? And it makes sense because they just don't have it in that country. The bottom line to this long line of bitching and arguing is we've set unrealistic standards for ourselves and it's become detrimental to our progress. We need to accept what we are. And you fat motherfuckers out there, you need to get up off your asses and lose 3 or 4 or 500 pounds of that shit. Because the rest of us are out there busting our ass, and you should have too also.